Hello, my name is Linnekens, and I'm the President of Global Innovation Development. There are many types of insurance that developers must obtain in connection with a real estate project. We're all familiar with typical types of insurance, things like general liability insurance, or workman's comp, or professional liability insurance, and so forth. But there's another type of insurance which can be equally important, and it's called surety coverage. Surety coverage is insurance which protects against a contractor's or subcontractor's or consultant's failure to perform their specified work. This type of insurance can be important because without this insurance, the developer risks having a lien placed on the property in connection with the failure by one of the development team. In order to avoid this, a contractor or developer can obtain surety insurance in the form of performance and payment bonds. Developers must make sure to inform the contractor or subcontractors in advance of their bids whether he or she will require a surety bond. And as such, they do include this cost in their bid. A surety bond is basically a three-party contract between the contractor and the insurance company and the developer. There are three main types of surety bonds. They are performance bonds, payment bonds, and completion bonds. A performance bond guarantees the developer that the specified work will be completed as contracted. If a contractor fails to perform, then the surety bond will cover the cost of completing the work. The insurety company will either hire their own contractor to complete the work or simply pay the developer an amount of money that's estimated to be needed for the developer to hire another contractor and then also complete the work. As such, contractors must have a certain credibility and track record in order to even qualify for a performance bond. Before issuing a performance bond, the surety company will thoroughly analyze the contracting company, including the qualifications of its management and its staff, its financial stability, and also its historical projects. This type of bond is particularly attractive to construction lenders because it can eliminate or at least dramatically reduce the risk that the project may not get completed. Because of the significant cost of this type of bond, many developers don't require the contractor to provide a performance bond if it's not already required by the lender, because they feel that if they can effectively stage the performance payments to the contractor, then they'll always have adequate withholdings to pay a new contractor in the event of a failure by the existing contractor. The second type of bond that I mentioned is called a payment bond. This type of bond covers failures by the general contractor to pay the subcontractors or laborers or material suppliers. So in the event that the developer pays the general contractor, but then the general contractor fails to pay the subcontractor or material supplier, the payment bond will ensure that the subcontractor or material supplier gets paid. This can be an extremely important type of bond for a developer to have because subcontractors and material suppliers have lien rights against properties in which they work. So even if the developer can prove that he or she paid the general contractor money that was intended to flow through to the sub can still lien the property until he actually receives the payment. So unless you're acting as your own general contractor, it may be a good idea to require your general contractor to secure a payment bond in connection with your project. The third type of bond that I mentioned is called a completion bond. This type of bond is a fairly specialized bond, which really ensures local municipalities that certain off-site improvements will be made. Things like the installation of sidewalks or landscaping in city-owned or neighboring properties. These are often required by local governments to ensure that the developer will complete any off-site work that they've agreed to perform. There is one other type of bond which sometimes comes into play, which is called a bid bond. A bid bond is a bond which gives the developer assurances that the winning contractor will honor his or her bid. Many developers avoid this type of bond because they feel that they'll be able to replace the contractor prior to the work commencing without too much difficulty. So why waste the premium on the bond? On the other hand, some developers do like the comfort of knowing that the contractor can't later attempt to withdraw their winning bid and force the developer to hire a higher bidding contractor. The development community generally has differing views regarding the need for these various types of bonds. They are expensive, so some developers feel that they're not worth the cost, feeling instead that proper management by the development team will really give them all the comfort that they need. On the other hand, some developers do feel that using one or more of these bonds are well worth the added cost to reduce the associated risks. In the end, you'll need to make your own decisions regarding the use of these bonds in connection with your particular projects. But hopefully this discussion will give you an understanding of how each type of bond might come into play. Good luck and have a great day.